realizing I'm not there. We go. All right, I'm going to do my intro again. This is the San Carlos Computer Club. I'm Scott Stimson from International Computer Solutions, and we meet every Tuesday at 10 o'clock Arizona Sonoran time, either in person or virtual through the summer. This is our virtual meeting. And welcome. I'm glad you guys could make it today. I'm redoing the intro because I just realized my mic was turned off and not recording, not going out to YouTube. I have left the same topics on the document from last week, except for a couple I thought we had already talked about. And I don't really have anything new, except to say that I am functioning on 3 hours of sleep. I was spending the morning reading about how Apple is redesigning the photo app in iOS 18.
Nope.
And at the bottom, it'll say not such and such.
The only thing I get is feature this person less.
Okay, so you did go into people and places.
No, I went to people. I don't have one called people and places. It's
what?
People is
which iPhone do you have?
13 mini.
Really? And you don't have people and places?
I have separate people and places.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, click on the people. Yes, it's subcategory people and places, and then it divides it into people and places.
No, it isn't. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. No. People, it's places.
Mine says people and pets and places as a
Oh.
separate line item.
I think we're already experiencing Apple intelligence. I wonder why pets doesn't show up on mine. I definitely have pictures of pets.
Have you named those pets?
I'm sure I have. They have names. Let me just do a search for pet and see what happens. Pet.
Add people.
Ooh. What if I put in dog? I have dogs. Here's my dogs. Oh, maybe I didn't name them.
Okay, so now I'm in, and then if I go to this one,
I don't think that's where I went. That doesn't look like where I
it
went.
is not Bob.
There you go.
Bob. Okay, now I got to do that to all of them?
No, it should recognize the other Bill pictures as not Bob as well. So now what I think you need to do is like a great refresh. I'm not quite sure how you provoke it, but it seems like what it needs to do now is re-index. And it might be turning off photos and going back into photos, or it might just be giving it time.
You know, when he's in a group. Okay, this one. This is not Bob. Well, it doesn't ask me who it is, so I can't name it as Bill.
Well, I think you should be able to name it as Bill.
This is not Bob. Okay, so now maybe if I go back to add people, I can add a Bill.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm mixing up my Macintosh with my iPhone.
Somewhere I pushed the picture and it came up with a little picture of a person.
And
But I didn't. I thought I just was in my photos.
Yeah, it seems like if you don't already have a Bill, then you should be in your photos identifying Bill. Oh, but yeah, I don't see how you provoke it. You might be waiting for it to ask you to identify these people again. Oh, no. Yeah, add people.
Wait, I've got to add people, but now I can't find.
Now you can't find Bill?
I'm right here. It gives me all these choices.
What add people is an inventory of faces that don't have names. So you would pick one you wanted to name and put the name on it. You see Yuya's in the background here? Oh, they're waving at you and you're walking away.
Oh. Okay, we're going.
All right, have a good day.
In a little bit.
Emily's making her way to her theater program. I'm sticking this article in our meeting, how Apple has redesigned its photo app. Hey, Fred, I saw you jump on. I didn't say hi. How are you doing this morning?
I also find their search in photos really hard to use.
Well, hopefully in iOS 18, that'll just become natural language queries.
But what if you don't want to talk to it?
Well, then you're living in the wrong world.
No, I'm not. I can type just as well, probably better than I can speak sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, when I say natural language queries, I just mean you'll be able to type or talk. You'll be able to say, give me all the pictures from Christmas 2019 that have Emily in them. You'll be able to say stuff like that, apparently.
Yeah, as soon as I can get it renamed. But the other thing that iPhoto is doing, which is kind of cool, is when I touch on a picture of people, whatever, it frames them and then it plucks them out and makes them a sticker, and then it comes up on my emoji.
Yeah, that's cool.
Keyboard, so I can use stickers all the time.
I never do that. And as we were talking about pets and me not finding, I found my pets, and I had these beautiful pictures of my dogs, and I was able to just tap and cut them out and turn them into stickers. So now I have a sticker for each dog. I also wanted to share with you guys, I mean, I don't really have any AI stuff to talk about this morning, but I did want to share with you, we've got a big 4th of July barbecue that Justin and I are planning. You know, we're neighbors, my parents are neighbors, so it's basically going to be a party of family and friends for the 3 houses that are right next door to each other. And we're sitting on the couch last night, and we've made a chat group in Facebook for all of the people that are invited, so they can coordinate potluck, what they're going to bring, who's going to bring what, chairs and tables. And Justin's like, hey, we need a picture for the group. Do you have a good 4th of July picture? And I thought about it for a second. I'm like, let's let ChatGPT make it for us. So I sat there next to him and I talked to my phone. I brought up the Edge browser. I hit the ChatGPT AI, and I just dictated into it. I said, give us a picture of a patriotic dumpster fire. What it brought back, I'm going to show you now because it's the head of our group. If you watch it, it seems like the right way to do it. No, they're not. They're not like, this is the AI computer. It's more like, we've always been using AI. We've been using it for these things, and now we're adding these few things more. And it just seems very conservative, and that they want to do it the right way. And what was interesting, they announced that they've got a relationship with ChatGPT. And it turns out they're not paying anything for that. So they're integrating a number of qualifying iPhones in with using an AI search service that will end up being quite a data burden, which translates into a cost burden for ChatGPT and OpenAI. And Apple isn't paying anything for it. It looks like ChatGPT or OpenAI is basically just using Apple for recognition. But we've already heard statistics about these AI answers versus traditional search answers, and how it increases the cost of each result by something like 2 or 3 times. So and to keep it in perspective, remember that it was discovered years ago that Apple, and they still do, get paid something like $1 billion a year to have Google as their default search on the Apple device. So this is ChatGPT gaining no more than name recognition by being on the Apple product, because Apple is not paying anything for it. They're also creating an interface where you're going to be able to choose which AI. So they're building a plug-in environment so that if you've subscribed to an AI service like a ChatGPT or a Gemini, you're paying monthly for it, you can set that up to be the default AI when you're doing general AI stuff. But the other stuff they announced, the stuff they're calling Apple Intelligence, is really the idea that there are certain aspects, certain utility that make more sense on the device, and other utility that make more sense sending it out to the cloud. And this is how Apple's going to be able to limit and give you security while doing the AI thing. At the same time as Apple, Microsoft has announced a whole bunch of AI stuff, and they've just kind of puked it out on us. The way Microsoft has done it is they've just made AI computers. They've focused these new ARM chips on Surface devices, which are getting amazing reviews. They're saying that Microsoft has had their Apple moment, that Apple now has a chip in the Snapdragon Pro Elite X Pro to compare and compete against these Windows computers. If you're a Windows user out there, you'll find this really hard to believe. They're getting 2-day battery life. They're getting, with this new chip and its low power consumption, they're opening up a laptop the next day and finding that there's 100% battery or 92% battery. People are using these laptops for hours at a time and closing the lid, not bothering to charge them. These are reviewers talking about this equipment. And coming back.
My question for you is, how do you trust the reviews?
Well, you listen to people you trust, right? You're listening to me.
When you're reading reviews on everything that you're trying to purchase,
yeah,
there's no vetting of any of the reviewers.
Right. Wait, well, except for your own vetting, like you go to news sources that you trust. I go to The Verge and listen to what they have to say. I go to Twit, listen to what Leo has to say. I listen to Marcus. I listen to what they've got years in the industry, and they give very accurate portrayals of these devices that are being reviewed. A number of them, Leo specifically, has always bought his own devices because he didn't want there to be the air of impropriety. These companies that build devices, they will send out free units for people to review, and those reviews have been called into question a number of times. And so Leo's approach has always been, I will pay my own money and use it as a normal person, and that way you will know that my review is not being financed by these companies. Now, to get back to the point I was making, though, is the general consensus is these are the first Windows computers where you can close the screen, stick it in your bag, stick it in the corner for 2 weeks, open it back up, and expect to have legitimate amount of battery life left on it. Anybody that has a Windows computer knows that's nearly impossible. And if it is possible, because I have had some experiences like that, what it is it's unreliable. Anybody that's had a Windows computer has had what's called the hot bag experience, where you close it like it's a Macintosh, stick it in your bag, only to find out 12 hours later your battery is dead and your laptop bag is cooking at 100 and something degrees because the thing never actually went to sleep. It never actually shut itself off. Or even worse, it did go to sleep, woke itself back up to check its state, misunderstood its state, and left itself running. So you had done it correctly and it had originally shut down correctly, but then when it went to go back and probe its states, it incorrectly determined what state it was in and left itself running. And these are common Windows problems. These are things that if you're a Windows computer user, you've just become accustomed to. You close the lid, sometimes it doesn't shut off. You close the lid, it goes to sleep, but then 30 minutes later, an hour where it's supposed to power down into a deep power off cycle, sometimes it doesn't happen. And it varies between models, manufacturers, and what version of Windows you happen to be on at the moment. These new hardwares are really proving that this was a hardware problem that could be solved. I'm very excited about it because I think that Apple technology, though great, is very expensive. And these are key features that a majority of people are looking for. The ability to treat a laptop more like a phone, or even less so like a phone, because the phone is getting used constantly. I see Cheryl on her phone right now. It's like that's how constantly we're using these phones. So even though if you were to use your phone like a computer, you would find that your battery would last a couple of days. If the reason that it's an all-day battery is because you're on it all day. Whereas these laptops are using the kind of power that a phone would use if it was used like a computer, resulting in a battery that's available to you 2-3 days later. Okay, even if you're a power-hungry user and you spend 12 hours on one of these computers, you can close it, stick it in your bag, not worry about charging it, come back 3 days later, and you've still got 20% of your battery left. It's very impressive stuff. And we weren't able to say that kind of stuff about anything except for the latest Macintosh technology. Hey, Judy, you were looking at the new iPad Pro. Did you come to a final decision on it?
Yes, but I have not finally ordered it.
Okay. Was it your original decision, or have you changed your thinking?
Oh, it's my original decision.
Okay.
Nothing we talked about swayed me.
And nothing you've learned since has swayed you?
No, but I keep kind of watching the reviews again of the M4 chip, and I've not seen anything that scares me, so...
Now, I think the most important thing to recognize is that the changes between the 3 and the 4 are marginal. because they're not. It doesn't represent a doubling of capacity. I mean, there is some capacity increase, but what it really represents is perfecting that 3 nanometer technology. I think it's 3. It's not 2, right? It's 3. This stuff is changing so quickly.
So my latest plan is I will go out probably not. Doesn't let me play games for as long in the morning when I'm having my breakfast as it did. Oh, I'm going to say a month ago.
You think your
Yeah,
batteries
down to 70%, which I know for most people isn't that bad, but for me that's not good. So
have you looked at the battery health?
yeah, it says it's fine.
It should give you a percentage of wear. It should give you an idea of how healthy
It
it is.
does.
Yeah.
It's my games. I play, basic like word games.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
curious if what's happened is, I mean, if your battery is showing 100% health,
I think it did. Let me
Yeah.
just look real quick.
if it is, then the extra battery life used, you would make the assumption that there's something that's changed, eating up more processing. Either the operating system that the game is running in, like one of the latest updates.
I'm thinking it is except I'm not, there's battery. So it's telling me why it keeps switching to high brightness. And I don't know why it does that. But anyway, yeah, the battery level is good until about 9 in the morning, and then it drops down, and then I charge it again, and
Do you see the battery health indicator on there? I'm not sure what operating system
no,
you're
I
using.
don't see anything that says battery health.
Mine
My
says
iPad.
on the iPad. On the phone, it says battery health and charging maximum.
Right, but this is the iPad.
Oh, you know what? I think we've looked this up before. I think your model doesn't have the health indicator.
Exactly.
So it's either the battery's getting worn out, depending on the age of your iPad, that might make the most sense. Or it's software updates that are requiring more processing from your device, so it's changed the behavior footprint of your device. Whether you've changed your behavior or not, it's a wholly different thing, but when
Right.
they do updates, and then that whole update processing behavior paradigm is possible when you upgrade the game. So you go from solitary 2 to 2.1. The game itself could be
Exactly.
asking for more from your device.
Well, it's hand and foot that's a lot.
Well, regardless, you've been in the market for a new iPad for a while.
Right, right, I have.
I
And
had
eventually I'll do it once I get over the cost of tree trimming and the bid to replace my back deck and all that kind of stuff. I have to get past all that.
Hey, in the last meeting, did we talk about this obsolete iPhones?
a medical office. It's a very old building, and I have AT&T, and usually my, when it shows a couple of bars, I'm good to send messages and everything without having a Wi-Fi connection. But that day, I had absolutely no data capability. It kept switching from 2 bars. It sometimes said 3G, and sometimes it said SOS. So it was only for emergencies. So I I could not get my phone to connect. So I turned it off, turned it on. I tried different things, and I turned off the Wi-Fi, turned on the Wi-Fi, and all this kind of stuff. Anyways, it was 24 hours later that all of a sudden I connected with a 5G connection instead of a 3G, and ever since it's been fine. But Bill was sitting right beside me. He has AT&T. He has the same service provider. We're in the same location. His connects. Mine says not available.
Same model phone?
No, his is I think his is older than mine. It is older.
Did he get the 5G connection?
No, 3G at that time, or just 3 bars or something.
Yeah.
The other thing was, I was ready for an update. It said that there was an update available, and I hadn't done it yet because I don't do it automatic. And so I updated it when I got home, and still, if I wasn't connected to Wi-Fi, I had no data connection.
So you had this same experience regardless of your location. In places that you used to be working just fine, it wasn't working.
Correct.
Yeah, when you're describing bouncing around, I think of that often as being a failing cell, and so you're
turned it off 3 times.
Oh, okay,
restarted it.
Yeah.
So when I'm traveling, I sometimes have to turn my phone off to get it to connect to the best tower.
Yeah,
I don't know how to say that, but
yeah, I think it was a problem with the connectivity in this building, and we anyways, I then heard some other people in Alberta are having problems on the same day. So I searched the internet to see if perhaps we've had something with the providers. And AT&T, like when I did the AT&T troubleshooting kind of thing, it said it's a telephone problem. When I went to the Apple thing, it said, come to our Genius Bar and we'll help you. But I was busy and I couldn't do that. But anyways, it kind of righted itself, and I have no idea why it happened.
Well, there is this thing called service provider settings that update into your device that you don't actually do anything, Cheryl. But occasionally, as you're getting on a network, you'll get a message saying service provider settings have changed. Do you want to update? And it seems like you can cancel it or update. And I often wonder if that's hardware specific to your particular phone based on changes that have happened in the service provider's network that would affect your particular phone, if that makes sense. And when I mean particular, I mean quite literally different model iPhones. Yours may be different from Bill's under those circumstances.
Yeah. So I went to cellular data. I turned off the cellular data. I turned it back on. I went to roaming. I turned off this line for
What about manually connecting to a cell, or to look at the cells that are out there and try and manually connect to one?
Carrier services. When I go to carrier services, all it is, it takes me to my AT&T account, or it gives me the quick numbers like 225 stars, check your bill balance, and that kind of stuff. But I don't have anything else about cellular service or connection.
Hold on a second. I'm looking for it. I don't even remember where it is right now. Why isn't it just under cell? Cell data? No, that's not it. Default voice
Service
line, no.
provider? No, service.
Well, service provider is in the right ballpark. That's the right kind of language.
And I got one that says TV provider. Don't have anything.
Data roaming, voice and data. Oh, I forget. I don't have a 5G iPhone.
Oh, right. Oh. Yeah, and it seemed like it was something to do with 5G because when I went to the cellular, where is it? I don't even see it now.
No, it sounds like there must have been some change to their network specifically for 5G.
So under data roaming, you can turn it on and off, and then it says voice and data, 5G auto, 5G on, or LTE.
So
And
those.
then the VoLTE, voice over, whatever.
So what that all that represents is the radios that your phone supports. Like I've got the same thing, but it only provides me with 4G and 3G because those are the antennas in my phone.
Okay. So 5G auto uses 5G only when needed for performance while optimizing battery life. 5G on uses 5G whenever it is available, even when it may reduce battery life. Oh, I see. So, and I tried turning these things off and on, and it's just I could not make it go. And the next day we were traveling around, and we must have hit this 5G area, and it came back on.
For the life of me, I cannot find where you can manually set it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have it either.
Because there was a time when we were able to just see the antennas that were out there, and it was like
I had to have AT&T activate that on my previous phone.
well,
It was I can't remember what it was called, but anyway, when I would go switch back and forth, like I could go if I wasn't getting good service with AT&T, I could make it go to whatever Telcel.
yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking of.
Yes, but they had to actually allow that setting on my phone.
All right. I'm gonna use.
I don't have that now.
We're doing AI stuff now. I'm going into Gemini and I'm like, how do I manually switch service? Cell towers,
Right.
towers
Or
on
cell service
my
providers or
iPhone. I want to be much dumber in my question because they could get into the nuances of buying new service. eSIMs. I don't want to talk about eSIMs.
well, see, that's one of the ones that it's talking about too, is convert to eSIM.
Oh no, actually Gemini is saying iPhones don't allow directly choosing which cell tower to connect to. Cell tower connections are handled automatically by the phone and the cell network. A couple things you can do is reset network settings. That'll erase all your network settings, including your Wi-Fi passwords. Not a real big deal as long as you sign back in. I mean, you're signed in. You should be able to get them back, but it would reset
which network services?
that's what Gemini is sharing.
What is the code to get in there?
It's the zip code.
Personally, I wouldn't
No,
do that
our
either,
zip code for
especially if I
Mexico.
wanted my phone.
8850.
No, it's 85506.
8550. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So you do have to get into it reads in a way that it makes you not want to do anything because you're worried you're going to break something. But if you go to transfer and reset iPhone and you hit the reset button at the bottom, then it gives you the options: reset all settings, reset network settings, delete all eSIMs, reset keyboard dictionary, reset home screen layout, reset location and privacy. All of those are under a dubious looking transfer reset iPhone that makes you nervous to even play with it. But I think that is a safe way to reset your network settings if that is what you want to try and do. But I would take it with a grain of salt because it says be ready for all your Wi-Fi passwords to be wiped out. I believe that you should be able to get those back simply by being signed into iCloud, but I've not done this before, so I don't know what to expect. Another thing that it says, and these suggestions are to get you on a different cell antenna. So it's saying there isn't a way to do it manually, I'm assuming, anymore. Because there definitely used to be a way to do it. But you can try resetting your network settings. That would force it to go looking for a better setting out there, a better signal. You could try toggling, and you did this already, Cheryl. You could try turning your cellular data on and off. And that would force it to go out there looking for another signal that might possibly be stronger. Now, what's frustrating is none of this addresses the idea that your carrier has multiple carrier contracts. And so you used to be able to do things like move from Verizon to AT&T simply because in certain areas Verizon has a contract with AT&T to allow their customers to use their access points. And there was a time in the past where you could see it sitting out there and choose to try and connect to it. I'm sure I've seen this on Android phones still, but I'm not finding it on my iPhone, and you guys aren't finding it on yours. So that may be gone, the ability to do something like that. It does sound like an update in their services affecting cell phones like yours, Cheryl.
Yeah, it was a strange event, but it's fixed.
Yeah. You know, we've had experiences in San Carlos, like out there in the Ranchitos where my place is. They get great 4G service, and we've had an experience where it's gone out, and all of a sudden we're on 3G and Edge, and it's just night and day the experience you're having. The way you use the phone is sluggish and broken. The things you're able to do can't be done. And you move out of that cell into another area of town and it works just fine. And we've had experiences where we were having that kind of experience for a couple of days in a particular area. That's why I was really surprised when you said you left and you went home and you're still having the same problem. I would have naturally assumed it was the cell in that area causing you problems. Well, do we have any other topics that people have brought along? Questions or troubleshooting we should do?
3 minutes.
And we are going to switch over to another meeting because we only got 3 minutes. I'm just going to do that right now so people can start piling in. Oh, I need a new laptop. Admit all. Everybody can come in. Hello, Judy. We've got Chester and Cheryl coming in. Oh, Bill, you're echoing. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We're missing Fred.
And I'm going to be saying goodbye very shortly. I just all the guys coming to give me a bid on my deck, so that's a good thing.
Oh, all right.
Judy,
Yes.
there's a possibility we might be coming through Colorado Springs this summer.
Okay.
That was a nice reaction.
Yeah, let me know if you come this way or when you're coming this way, and I'll
Are you
let you
going?
know if I'm around.
You going to the Mark Mulligan show there?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I think that's on the 19th or something, or
Yeah,
somewhere.
I don't know.
Fred,
Yeah.
Dad. Oh, they can't hear me. Hold on a second. Fred,
Yeah,
Dad,
Anyway,
if you guys
yeah,
can
that's
hear
the
me,
call. It was like an unknown
I'm
call,
putting a
so I
link
thought
in the
maybe
chat that you can click on to get to the next meeting. Yeah, Fred. I see your hands up.
He's here.
Did he make it over into the other meeting?
He's not in the other meeting.
No,
No.
he's not yet.
No.
And Dad's sitting here too. I don't know if they've walked away from their computers. What I did is I stuck the link in the chat. Oh, hey, Pop. Do you have the link? Oh, that meeting's gone, so they're going to have to find it on their own. Oh, here's Fred.
Yep.
Yay, he made it. Very good. Now we're just waiting for Dad.
Is Fred on land or is he on a cruise ship?
Oh, you're still muted, Fred.
I'm on land. I'm in Michigan.
Ooh.
How unusual for your cruiser lifestyle.
Well, I'm on land for the summer. September, I'm back on a boat.
Did you catch how many days he spent on a boat last meeting he was in? How many days were you, Fred?
Let's see. Last time we were on 124 days.
That's amazing. That's a third of your year on the boat.
Well, the year before that, we spent 9 months.
Are you out of here, Judy? Yep, she's gone. So, Fred, have you brought any topics for us today?
No, I'm kind of slow today.
No worries. I'm a little slow too, but it's because I was up at 3 a.m. picking my family up from the airport.
That's a good thing to do.
So one of the things I was bringing up was the Apple obsolete article that's in open heart surgery. And the idea is that certain frequencies, this has been clinically tested and supported through studies, that sound waves at a specific frequency will prompt the regeneration of muscle material in the heart. So they are now, this is in Australia if I remember right, but what they're doing is they're making this kind of therapy right alongside open heart surgery. So they do the surgery and then they zap the heart with these sound waves for a period of time. And it's supposed to rebuild those muscles. Here's a number that we can talk about. The group receiving shockwave therapy showed an 11.3 boost in their heart's ability to pump oxygenated blood after just 1 year. So that's not a year of therapy. That's using it for 10 minutes during
Austria.
That's using it for as part of the open heart surgery, a 10-minute therapy. They've tracked 63 people and they've determined that they have increased their oxygen pumping capacity by 11.3%. There's a quote here that I found interesting when I read the article. We know that every 5 percentage points improvement in pumping performance brings a significant reduction in hospital readmission and an extension of life expectancy. So these heart experts look for these percentage factors going up in 5% increments, and they recognize that as each time it's even less chance you're going back to the hospital. That's a pretty significant improvement. But what I thought was interesting was these are sound waves. And I can't think of a better example of how music and sound probably adds to your overall health and well-being. When you hear studies like this and you see that they're like increasing your heart's capacity to pump blood and giving you a longer life, the correlation with how much you might enjoy song and dance may be found in there somewhere. I just like the idea of it.
Okay, I could support that, but the article also talks about how these sound waves have been used to destroy kidney stones. So there must be a point where the music could go into more damaging and destroying than it does.
You're not judging my death metal, are you? Maybe it's quite literally death metal. Well, I found that all very, very fascinating. And the space hairdryer looks like it's going to become a regular part of open heart surgery. And that's it for anything that I've brought that I thought might be interesting for us. How are we doing for time? We're just over an hour. If we were going to wind this down, we normally talk about recommendations, being movies or books or TV shows or podcasts, websites, or applications. I keep mentioning Microsoft Edge simply because it feeds your Chat GPT for free. And so I'll continue to add that to my list of recommendations, because you can stick it in your iPhone and not have a Chat GPT subscription and be able to take advantage of the features of Chat GPT right from your iPhone. It's a great implementation if you want to play with that kind of stuff. You just bring up Edge, start the Chat GPT, and you can start talking to it. You can talk to it, and it will talk to you. Are there any other applications, events, movies, TV shows, anything that you'd like to share with the rest of us?
Okay, last week we were given I wrote down a list, and I think it was Christine. Was Christine with us last? Available in Canada, so I'd have to turn my VPN on and work through it and everything. But you know, I found the shows, and I think I started watching one of them, but I can't remember. Oh, The Bear. I think it was your mom that asked if anybody was watching The Bear, and I think I've watched about 3 episodes so far. Interesting thing.
Yeah, it gets great reviews. Oh my gosh. Something has happened while we've been meeting, and I have lost audio recording of you guys. I wonder if this has just been an empty YouTube of no audio. Or just me talking to myself. But yeah, for some reason it is not working. Well, that's a great thing to discover right at the end of our meeting. I'm going to put The Bear back on our list. I have not had a chance to watch it. My buddy Justin says I have to watch it. You get sucked right into it, he says. But I think I'm going to call this meeting to an adjourn. What is going on over here? So why don't we say until next Tuesday? Everybody tech on. Bill, Cheryl, Fred, you're the last holdouts.
Have a good one.
You guys have a good one too. Adios. What was that? All right, well, we did it again. That was our meeting. I sure hope some audio got across. It feels like, let's see. Being movies and supported. Yeah, that's very. I think your model doesn't have the health indicator. Unless you bled across, unless they bled across my microphone, I don't think you were listening to them. So sorry about that. We'll do better next time. Tech on.